everyone, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to our next Uplevel Live session. We are thrilled to have Jen Burson here, founder and president of Generation PR. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Robin Cohen. I'm the co-founder of Uplevel. Uplevel is a micro-learning online experience. We go live every Wednesday, and then that content is recorded and is on our site. You can access it at any time in case you miss the session. So again, we are super thrilled to have Jen here from Generation PR. Jen, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction. We'll get into just a little bit of a Q&A, and then I'm going to give the floor over to you. So Jennifer Burson is the president and founder of Generation PR, a public relations and social media marketing firm specializing in promoting beauty, baby, and lifestyle products. Jen's retainer clients range from small and mid-sized brands to multi-billion-dollar publicly traded companies and everything in between. Jen is also the creator of the Agency Accelerator, where she teaches entrepreneurs how to launch, grow, and scale a profitable PR and marketing agency. She also recently launched the Pitch Lab, a monthly membership experience for PR pros to learn the step-by-step framework for executing a PR strategy that converts into massive media placements for their clients. Prior to founding Generation PR in 2005, Jennifer was a lawyer and practiced civil litigation at a prestigious law firm, but she then saw the light and left to start her own business and pursue more creative endeavors. And she's really never looked back. Jennifer has been featured in the New York Times, Forbes, Inc. magazine, Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, Entrepreneur magazine, Huffington Post, and so many other amazing podcasts and publications. She was also profiled on Apple.com as an entrepreneur on the go using Apple's products. And she was also selected by Babbel.com as one of the 10 mompreneurs who made it big. Well, welcome. So I wanted to start off by saying that in my view, and we touched a little bit upon this yesterday when you and I spoke, right? That PR, is such a vital piece of your marketing strategy, but it almost feels that it's just been kind of lumped under the marketing category, and people are not talking about it as this separate and important way to, engage with your audience, right? Get your brand out there, your products. What do you feel has happened in the sense of we don't hear PR in the same way like we used to? Is it social media that has kind of changed the way that we view it? And also let the audience know why you believe that PR is still a vital component to even your personal brand or your business.
Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of questions there. Let me see. Hopefully I can answer all of them. But PR is such an effective way to establish authority, get your message out to a wider audience, to accomplish a lot of different goals in your business. Casting a wider net to reach your target customers by kind of borrowing somebody else's audience and sharing your message, sharing your experience, offering value. I'm going to walk through the steps for how to do that. But there is this kind of instant credibility in being featured on these platforms that people know and kind of, respect and assume that if you are sharing your story or your expertise on some of these platforms, that you're an authority in your space. And it's frustrating, I think, sometimes for entrepreneurs who've been around for a really long time. And I don't know if they're waiting for the mayor of the internet to say, you're an expert, go forth and share. But then they see people who haven't been doing their thing as long as they have getting recognized by the media. And they're like, what the heck? What about me? And so, it's not a hard thing to accomplish. We'll walk through the steps. I absolutely think that people can accomplish landing, really great top tier media features without using a PR firm. And it's simple, and I'll show you how. But I do think that things have changed a bit because of the shift towards digital. And there's a lot of this kind of the sky is falling mentality of like, well, print is dying,
right?
And it's so competitive and it's all about social. And if you're not an influencer, nobody wants to hear from you. And that's just not true. The media is, there are tons of opportunities, and even more now than there were when I first started 15 years ago, because there's so many online platforms. And if you think about like Entrepreneur print magazine, it comes out one issue once a month and that's it. But entrepreneur.com needs content every single day. So there's actually more opportunities and they're looking for interesting stories to tell. So I think that if you look at it like media's dying, there's so much competition, how am I ever going to break through the clutter and the noise, then you'll be stuck and you won't make any efforts to make it happen. And the worst thing that can happen is you either won't hear anything or someone will say no. It's a big deal. So, I'm telling you that there's tons and tons and tons of opportunities, and it's just about how you position your story and look to add value.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, especially this year with COVID and everything that's happening, how much has your business changed either way? Better or for worse, just to kind of get some context from like the entrepreneur standpoint, right? How has COVID affected your business?
It's been interesting. I mean, like I said, I've been around for 15 years, so we've survived like 2 other economic downturns.
Right.
And then we were getting more leads and more opportunities. And I think that the companies that saw their marketing spend as an opportunity to capture and hold on to market share when their competitors were cutting budgets, they came to us and we were able to help them accomplish that. This one has been different. At the outset, I think, and it's still kind of happening, we're 6 months into this, which is insane to me. I'm like, what do you mean it's not May? Like, what are you saying? It's September 1st? Like, it's May. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah. And we had clients, leave for various reasons. One of our largest clients, a huge publicly traded multi-billion-dollar company, declared bankruptcy. I think they had been swirling the drain for a really long time, and COVID just was like the death knell for them. So the agency side for me has been a little slower. And I look at things in my life like they happen for a reason, and timing has always played a really kind of important role in how my career has evolved. So I've been working on the other side of my business, which is the coaching and the info products and, offering ways for other people to up-level their skills and make more money, provide better service, run a better, more efficient business. And at the beginning of COVID, we launched the Pitch Lab, which is a monthly membership experience. That's right. And it's already a 6-figure revenue stream in our business. So I think that we just looked at it as a way, like, how can we help more people? And maybe the downturn in the retainer business, I still have my whole team and we're still profitable on that side, but we did take a huge hit. And now we're starting to see retainer clients coming, leads coming in, like really good qualified leads coming in, but it's been a little slow. Like I've never not had someone new come when we've lost a client. I'm always like even Steven. And now it's like, whoa, where are all the qualified clients? But now it's starting again. And while we had that 4 or 5 month sort of lag in the retainer business, I focused on serving my community of PR professionals and launched a new offering, and it's been really popular. So I'm really grateful for that.
That's great. That's really good to hear. Just to let everyone know, we would love to hear where you're tuning in from. So for example, I am based in Salt Lake City. Jen is based in Los Angeles. Please in the chat, let us know where you're tuning in from. Yes, Kate from Chicago. Yes, don't be shy. Let us know. It just is, I think, that much more exciting and interesting to hear about our audience and where they're tuning in from. So also what I want to mention is that everyone that registered for this, you were automatically entered into the giveaway. And Jen is being generous enough to give her Media Magnet course, for free. So what you're going to hear today in terms of her talk about how to position your personal brand as a PR pro, that will just even give you a deeper dive into the fundamentals of PR and how you can use it to leverage yourself or your business. So definitely stay tuned till the end. We're going to announce the winner at the end. Jen, I'm going to give the floor to you, so feel free to share your screen and jump into your presentation. I will remove myself from the screen so you really have the stage all to yourself.
Well, thank you. Let's see. I just tried to share my screen. Did it happen?
Not yet. Let's see.
Now?
Yep.
Awesome.
There it goes, okay. And then there I go.
Okay. Hopefully I've never navigated through that crowdcast, so hopefully I'll be able to get back there when we're done. But this presentation, I'm going to blaze through it because it's normally about an hour long, and I want to just make sure we have time for Q&A. But it's all about positioning your brand like a PR pro, using the power of media to establish your authority and your expertise and exponentially grow your business. So we talked about it briefly. Why is PR important and relevant? It can help you stand out in a crowded marketplace, share your expertise with the world on an even bigger scale, establish your credibility and solidify your position as a thought leader, scale your audience, build your list, and let potential clients and business opportunities come to you. And it can drive insane demand for your services, your coaching, products, your book, book launch, any offering you have. This is a way to drive demand for them. And then, obviously you get these credibility building media mentions. This is on my website. Like Robin mentioned, the places I've been featured. I'm going to quickly mention kind of how these came about. Like she said, I was an attorney. I shared my career pivot story. That's just one of the sort of newsworthy little nuggets that I've found about my business and, in my career in the past 15 years or so. So with that little angle of my personal story, we landed a feature on Business Insider, which was syndicated to Yahoo Finance. And that resulted in over 30 million impressions. So just think about the exposure opportunity that you have there. I mean, this was just one pitch to Libby Kane at Business Insider. She interviewed me. The next day it ran, and then it got picked up a couple days, actually the same day it looks like. And then also, like Robin said, I was profiled by Apple using my, iPhone on the go. There was like a whole video. The Apple team followed me around LA for a couple days and kind of recorded all of my activities. And we got this great feature. And obviously this lends great credibility, but it also drove a lot of new business inquiries from the Apple website, which was really cool. So, and then of course, another angle could be sharing your expertise. So getting a Forbes feature, sharing exactly what I'm talking to you about, how you can promote your own business on your own. So it's like DIY strategies. So think about that. Super simple, just sharing your expertise, and all you do is find the writer and pitch them your idea. So I'm going to talk about that with these 5 steps to becoming a media magnet. Number 1 is you got to create this PR success mindset. Okay, we'll quickly run through that, but I see it a lot in my coaching. People just feel like maybe they aren't the authority or they don't have anything to offer. Number 2, set your goals and intentions for your press strategy. Make genuine connections with the media. That's number 3. 4 is find your unique story angle and send your pitch. I shared with you 3 of my unique story angles that resulted in some top tier press. So start thinking about your own. And 5 is master the art of the follow-up. Okay, so number 1 is create a PR success mindset. You are an expert and the media wants to hear from you. Just let that be your mindset, your positioning going into this whole approach. First and foremost, you need to get in this mindset that you have something to share. And think about, you deliver value with your expertise, and it may be simple, But this is a really big step for many people. A lot of us kind of take for granted what we know how to do, and we feel like, well, everybody knows how to do that. The reality is they don't. I mean, think about all of the people who have, had successful businesses teaching people how to cook or clean their houses. I'm in a mastermind with a woman who makes multiple 7 figures a year with an online coaching program teaching women how to clean their house. Okay, think about that. So you need the confidence that you do have the expertise, and it starts with knowing the value that you can add for these people and these media outlets. Like I said, we take for granted what we know how to do. And the reality is that most people don't even know the basics of subjects that we are experts in. And your story is inspiring, right? Like my career transition from being a lawyer to starting my own PR firm, that's inspiring. It shows people you can kind of come at this with no contacts, no experience, and successfully pivot your career. That shows someone what's possible, and you have a story somewhere that can show people what's possible for them too. Step number 2, so you've got that, PR mindset, you have something of value to share. You have to have a clear strategy for your media outreach. So we're going to set your goals. What is the ultimate PR goal that you currently have? Why are you doing this? What do you want to accomplish? You want to kind of keep it simple in the beginning, keep it realistic, and then as your business evolves, your PR features start rolling in, it's cumulative and you can build on it. So like if you want to be on the Today Show, you got to start maybe with local, get some experience, and then build up to national. But set that as a goal and then you can work towards it. And of course, when you focus your efforts and you go for quality over quantity, it makes it, first of all, a lot less overwhelming, a lot more manageable, but also allows you to kind of deep dive and create great relationships with the media. So you're going to start with choosing 1 to 3 goals for your media outreach efforts. And here are some things to think about and some objectives when you're considering your goals. Maybe you'd love to be featured as a guest on your favorite podcast. Maybe you know that you would add so much value with a guest post on a popular blog in your niche. You'd love to share your expertise on TV to reach a wider audience and showcase your personality. That's why I love TV and I love podcasts, because you can be yourself and people can really connect with you on a personal level. Another goal or objective for PR is increase your sales, build your lead list of potential customers and clients, establish yourself as an authority and a thought leader in your space. And you also, like I mentioned, want to start with smaller outlets and then build towards bigger opportunities. So think about goals as like escalating and kind of cumulative. And number 3 is find your targets and make genuine connections. And when I say targets, I mean your media outlets where you want to be featured. If it's a TV show or a podcast or a certain website, you're going to think about where you want to be featured and do the research. Let me tell you what that looks like. So you start by making a list. This is that kind of aha feeling, like when you're consuming media, you have your places that you go, that you love, you never miss a new episode that drops, and you always think to yourself, God, I should really be on there. I have so much to add. I have so much value to deliver. Why are they not featuring me? So if you take 5 minutes and you just write down your favorite media outlets, the places that really resonate with you, where you think your expertise, your services, your brand, product, or story would be a good fit, and also consider what media outlets your target audience is consuming. And then you've got your list. I would say keep it simple, right? Like focus on your top maybe 20 max so that you don't make yourself crazy. I want you to start with 1 to 3 of those options so that you don't overwhelm yourself, okay? So you've got a couple in mind so that you're not feeling like, oh my God, the entire universe of opportunities is so overwhelming. I don't know where to start. Just carve out a few where you feel like they would be your priority. And keep in mind, editors, podcasters, journalists, bloggers, they want to hear from you. They want interesting stories to tell. They want to share inspiring content, actionable how-tos. They're looking for sources. But the key is that they hate being pitched by people they don't know and who don't care about them. Okay? So part of what you're going to do is find the contacts, either the podcast person who runs the show, the host of the podcast, or if it's a publication like I was on Business Insider, like I showed you, I lasered in on Libby Kane because she tends to write these career transition stories. So follow that person on social media, figure out where they spend their time, and you can connect with them based on your kind of mutual passion. So you can see what they're sharing on social media. Like, did they take a trip to Machu Picchu and you've been to Machu Picchu and you want to say, oh my God, I loved seeing your pictures. It brought me back to the time I was in Peru. Something like that. It makes a personal connection. You're starting to form a relationship. You're hoping to form an ongoing connection. So again, we're not talking stalker level status here, but you're really looking to genuinely make personal, meaningful connections and genuinely engage with their content and share their articles, things that you have found useful, informative, relevant to you, certain key takeaways you found really impactful for your business, or maybe you've shared them with your audience. Share it on social and tag them. Okay, that's how they start to see you and notice you. And step number 4, develop your unique story angle and your pitch pitch your targets. So what happens here, you come up with your idea, you write out a pitch, we'll talk about how to do that, and then you iterate, you tweak, you keep working on it until you get traction. You never know, it may not be the first pitch you send. There might be a nuance or a different angle or different approach to your story that actually gets some traction. So your pitch angles should be strategic, targeted, and relevant, and they should also be timely. So relevant should encompass timeliness. Find your unique story angle, something that's really interesting about you, your journey, your accomplishments. If you've lost 100 pounds and you did it with counting macros, share that. That is so inspiring. People love those kinds of stories. So what is unique about you and your journey? What can you uniquely speak about that would help someone else? You can solve someone's problem by sharing your story or sharing your know-how. You can answer a specific question by sharing your expertise. So think about pitches that would solve someone's problem or answer a common question that people have. Use the hurdles that you've personally overcome to show that audience what is possible for them as well. So it becomes inspirational content, it becomes how-to content. Think about that and talk about the lessons you've learned and how you did it, whatever you did, whatever you accomplished in your career, so that other people can have a roadmap and framework to achieve the same results for themselves. Keep in mind, again, back to the mindset of having something to offer. You have value, you have an interesting perspective to share, and your story will resonate with the right audience in the right forum. It may just take some time to figure out where that forum is, where your content is the right fit. Again, this mindset check. A lot of people are really hesitant to pitch because they feel they're being annoying. Okay. The worst they can do is say no. Like I said at the top of this chat, if you never ask, you'll never get featured. So you got to try, right? It's like lotto. You got to be in it to win it. The worst they can do is say no, but throw your hat in the ring and probably you'll just hear nothing. You'll hear crickets, which is less kind of intimidating than hearing a no. People don't say no. They may say not right now, or reach back out to me in a few months when I'm covering that topic. And then again, who cares? It's their job to present great stories, so why not have it be yours? And if you are sending useful, relevant, timely, great ideas that are custom positioned for them and their audience, it's not annoying, it's helpful. So keep that in mind. You are being helpful. You're making their job easier. So here are the secrets to crafting your attention-grabbing pitch. What is a pitch? This is a short and sweet email that you send to someone in the media to capture their attention. It has to be well-researched, strategic, targeted, and individualized to one person and sincere. No mass pitching, no spray and pray. That's what we call it. It does not work. The key to having pitches convert is to be focused and send a targeted, individualized pitch for that specific person, which is why I recommend keeping your initial list to 1 to 3 targets that you're really focused on. This is what our clients pay us to do for them, and I know you can do this for yourself, and the media will still take you seriously. So don't worry that you feel like you're kind of, not professional if you don't have a PR firm. It doesn't matter. There are, big companies that are doing their own PR. There are really established entrepreneurs that do their own PR. Nobody can tell your story better than you, so why not have it be you? And here's the key elements that you need in a pitch. You're going to have a quick personal introduction. I'm probably going to say the word brief 10 times here, but keep that in mind. Information about you and why you're an interesting guest. So you can leverage your uniqueness, let them know who you are, maybe your interests if it's relevant to why they would want to feature you, your expertise and the results you've achieved either for yourself or for your clients. Or maybe it's your transitional story like mine, going from law to PR. That's interesting. And so that is ultimately what media outlets shared about me. And then, of course, you want to try to build rapport. Keep in mind there's like another person, an actual human being on the other end of the pitch. They're going to want to engage with you if you're like interesting and cool and engaging and not robotic. So let them know what you would like to either write about yourself if you're pitching for a guest article that you want to write, or you want to be interviewed on, or you want to lend your expertise to. Let them know what topics you can cover, and you can give them bullet points. So don't write out the whole pitch. Don't write out the entire article. Say the article's pasted below. It's like, no, give them the summary bullet points. What are the key points you're going to cover? So it's just like quick 2 or 3 quick bullet points. And then you wrap it up. This is all super brief. Wrap it up quickly. And you're going to keep it brief. You're going to end with a strong call to action, which is like the next steps they're going to take in order to move the story forward. And then, of course, you're always seeking to add value to them and their audience. So your pitches should come from this mental place, this mindset of my expertise is really going to help them and their audience in these ways. So you're thinking about that, like, wow, I really have something to share here, and I know that I can help them. So you want to fit your story in with their mold. So like I said, when I pitched Business Insider with Libby Kane, I knew that she was writing about career transition stories. So it fit really well with what she's already writing about. If I had a different idea and I pitched it to her, she would say, well, I don't really cover this, or this is not how I position my stories. So you want to pitch your ideas to fit in with what they're already writing about and how they're already covering features, and match the tone and the style for each outlet. Business opportunities are like a little bit more focused and professional. And if it's somebody's like podcast and they tend to be a little bit more engaging and lively, maybe make it less professional. Just try to match the tone and style. And this is a really key. If you don't do anything but this in your pitch, reference their work that you read and enjoyed. So be specific about what resonated with you, and mention the outlet and the writer by name. Again, no mass pitching. And highlight how their story and content had an impact on you. But make sure you're not just going to their latest episode and just looking obviously at the last episode or the last blog post or the last story they shared. That's really obvious. They know that. I'm friends with a lot of podcasters and they know that trick. So you actually want to listen, and you actually want to go kind of deep in their catalog of content and find something that genuinely resonates with you, so that this piece of it can be really, really well thought out, because this is the key to getting your pitches read and responded to versus getting deleted. Okay, this piece is really important. I can tell you that professional PR people don't often do this. They're sending mass pitches and it just doesn't work. And then, of course, don't forget the subject line. You want it to be something that will grab their attention so that the only goal literally is to get them to open it and read the email. You don't want it to be like a complete full-on summary of the email. So don't stress yourself out, but let it be something interesting. Have it read like a headline. Because think about that. If it's a headline for your idea and it's interesting, they'll open it and that they think about things in terms of headlines because that's what they're writing. And number 5, super important step that a lot of people don't do. They think, oh, they just ignored it. So, wah, not meant to be. This is where the magic happens. Even in our agency, don't forget to follow up on your pitch. 85 to 95% of our features that we land for our clients in our agency come from the follow-up process. So what you're going to do, send your pitch, wait a day, maybe 2 to 4 days max, depending on if you send it, on a Thursday, maybe wait the weekend, follow up on a Monday. Follow up where you include your original pitch below. So almost like a reply all kind of thing, so that they can see what you're actually referencing. And then give them either a new idea, like a new bullet point, something else that's new information. Don't just kind of harass them and say, did you get it? Did you read it? What do you think? Say, hey, wanted to follow up on the below. Wanted to, give an additional thought about this idea that I had. I think it's really relevant for your audience because of XYZ. Really short and sweet. Would love to hear from you. And of course, end with a strong call to action. What is the next immediate step that they need to take to get this moving forward? So is it reply, let me know if you'd like me to write up these ideas for you. Please let me know if you'd like to receive a sample of my product. I would like to send you high-res images if you would like to, see them. I don't know if that's not worded the best way, but let them know you have all the assets in place for them should they be ready to move forward with an article, and make it really easy. If you don't hear from your contact at that publication, try a different contact at the same publication. And you can even mention, I reached out to so-and-so, and mention them by name and say, I'm unsure if that's the correct contact. Can you please let me know or take a look at my pitch? Sometimes when you post a name, even if you don't know that person personally, the second person that you reach out to will see one of their colleagues' names and they kind of think, oh, this person has contacts at this publication, and they start to pay a little more attention. And if it doesn't work with this pitch idea, keep at it and try the same publication in a couple weeks with a completely new pitch angle, something else, something different, something that's related to what's being talked about in the news right now, something timely, relevant, a seasonal idea, a trend angle, something that would capture their attention right now, because that's what they're thinking about are, topics that are resonating right now. So even if you don't hear from them, stay with it. Keep pitching the same person with new ideas, or take your original idea and pitch someone else, and go forth and pitch. Like I said, the worst thing they can say is no, but you don't get a yes unless you try. And that's it. Oops. Let's see. I'm going to try, Robin, to
I'm here.
I'm trying to unshare, and I'm not so great at it.
So there should be a button that says, stop sharing screen.
Let's see, I'm going to...
And it might be...
Okay.
There you are.
Help? Okay, cool.
Yes, it did help. That was awesome. Again, I just think that I don't think that people honestly, utilize PR to the best advantage, again, as like an extension of their marketing strategy. And, I know that I've used it at times for different things, different projects that I've been working on or companies that I've worked with. And I know the process a little bit in terms of your initial pitch, whether or not they got it, if they, even care to consider it. And it's definitely a process, but I feel that it's a very similar process in a way to sales, right? Is that you have to
100%.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's sales. Exactly. And it's interesting because it's kind of like what I did in litigation too. It's like taking a set of facts, both sides of the issue have the same information. There's no like smoking gun, like, aha, you have to share everything, right? So it's like, how do you position your facts to meet the, so I look at it like you've got this bucket of information, this bucket of facts, all this, universal stuff to work with. How do you negotiate those facts to fit with this publication versus this publication? Yes. How do you present them a compelling story idea that they would read it and be like, oh, this is perfect for us. So it's the same exact thing, and it's exactly sales. I always say PR is like sales, and that's why when we in our agency look to new client leads, I have to love it because I need to be convincing when I pitch it. I want to believe it,
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the other thing too, again, this is what I've learned, and I just want to share it with the audience, is that when you do get whatever that is, whether it's, a piece on you, your product, your business, whatever it is, that's free media, right? And then the sales or, the fact that all of a sudden people didn't know you, now they know you. I mean, what it does to your brand, to your product, I mean, it can sometimes almost be even what's the word I'm thinking of? More like a higher ROI than general sales, right? Because what you would normally pay to be in a magazine from a regular advertising standpoint, that could cost you thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands,
right?
Yeah.
If you're able to get free placement and then get sales from that or whatever that's priceless.
Yeah, I mean, think about that one article that got 30 million impressions. Was it 300 million? Whatever, a lot, a lot. And it didn't cost me anything. And that like an ad somewhere looks like an ad, and it's not as credible as them saying we're giving our space and our platform to somebody who, has something to share with you. And then all those people see that. And again, it's like free marketing, positioning, advertising. Yeah. There's just so much that comes from it that's so valuable.
Absolutely. I want to get into the audience Q&A. We have a few questions here.
Oh.
So this comes from Kate, and she asks, specifically when approaching brands to partner with on social media, even if you don't have a large following, how can you catch their attention?
So it sounds like almost an influencer brand collaboration. As a brand, what we would be looking for is first and foremost genuine connection to the brand, genuine connection to the products. I would look to your feed and see if you're just shilling a bunch of stuff all the time and you'll just take whatever comes your way and just be like, this is amazing and I love it. And that's not authentic. We look for authentic connections and brand partners that really love our clients' products. And then we also look to their quality of their content. Can we repurpose it on our feed? Is it aesthetically pleasing? Is it high quality, well shot? That's really important. So even if there isn't a huge following, I mean, we have all these tiers of influencers, and there's, mega influencers, micro, macro, nano. Brands are looking at nano influencers right now. They really, because the key is that their following, while there isn't a big a big number, the engagement's better, and the connection to that person is more personal. They know you. It's your yoga instructor. It's your child's teacher, whatever. So you believe them. There's more credibility in what they're talking about because you have a personal connection to them. So there actually is more of a ROI on that connection, because these mega influencers, they're just kind of getting paid, and there's such a wide range of types of people in that audience that it might not even be the right fit for your brand anyway. Right. So it's less valuable. So we look for those real connections and quality of content. And probably as you're just starting out, until you can maybe show some positive ROI or build out a deck that has quotes from brand partners and lets them know with measurable results somehow what you've been able to do for them, you probably have to work with a brand and trade only and no fee until you're able to show some of that ROI. And then even without a large following, if you can demonstrate that in a deck, we have brands that would pay to get those really, great opportunities with an up and coming influencer.
Definitely. Just to extend on that topic a little bit, what are your thoughts in general between, working with influencers, right, to get more attention, again, whether it's your personal brand or a product, versus, just much more traditional PR, marketing, advertising? I know there's been a lot of argument lately about the validity, right, of these influencers, because you can purchase your followers and, all that. So as a PR, professional, how do you look towards, working with an influencer versus traditional PR?
Well, the way we position it in our agency, it's we offer PR services, we offer social media services, and in my company, It's two teams, because we're doing content development, strategy, and execution for brands on social, and then we do media outreach. In my agency, the PR outreach team is the one reaching out to influencers, and the social media team is kind of engaging with them to get their attention and have them see the brand. So we look at influencers like another editorial opportunity, and we vet them really well. So we're looking at what their engagement looks like. You can see through Instagram as a brand, you can tag brand partners, and they don't have to accept you on the other side for you to see their metrics. So you can start to see access to those things. So we look at those things. We're looking for genuine engagement. We're looking for, you can kind of tell when someone posts something and the first hour they get thousands of likes and then it's crickets. There's bots and they're buying engagement, and it's really obvious. So we, looking at it like we always are pitching media, that credibility, even with brands, with physical products. We represent a lot of beauty brands. Like if my client is in Oprah magazine, which, we just landed a feature in in the print magazine, it ran online, it ran on social. Awesome, right? That has so much value. And then there's a whole other side to the campaign for that product launch where they're working with makeup artists, and the makeup artists are using the product. So it's, double-sided. And I think that some of it drives immediate consumer demand and some of it drives retail sell-through. Oprah magazine is like long-term brand awareness and credibility to get those Sephora accounts and Ulta accounts. So it's like a bigger scale. So I think it all works together. I think if you are going to pursue an influencer campaign, you just have to look and trust your gut on them and see, we have been doing this a really long time with influencers, like back when they were called bloggers and they just had a blog, before Instagram. And you just, you look and you trust your gut and you kind of see, like, are they the right fit for the brand? Does something seem like it's not kosher here? Like something's not right. Trust it, because they're also looking to monetize their efforts. They're making a lot of, they're creating a lot of content. They're spending a lot of time and energy and money taking pictures and setting all this stuff up, and they want to monetize. They're building an influence and they want to monetize it.
That's
right. You get that. So I think it's a little fraudulent if they're faking what their engagement looks like for the sake of making money. So you have to just look and make sure that their values are aligned with your clients' brand values, and that also their approach to their platform is, genuine.
Definitely. So this next question comes in from Todd, and he asks, what do you think of Haro? And if you could actually explain to the audience what Haro is. I know what it is, but I would like for you to explain what it is and then your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so Haro is Help a Reporter Out. You can sign up for it for free. There are probably a couple 100,000 people that are now signed up. And what it is a 3 times a day digest of topics that journalists are looking to learn more about. They're looking for sources to quote. So, and it's broken down into topics, tech, beauty, wellness, all these things, politics. They're looking for people to quote in articles. Sometimes the turnaround is like an hour. Sometimes the turnaround is a couple days. Either way, Haro is incredibly competitive, and it's hard to actually. It used to be easier, probably back when you first learned about it and I first learned about it. I got quoted and sourced all the time because the competition, it wasn't as crowded. But now, and you can get there, I believe it's still HelpAReporter.com, and sign up, and you just say, I'm a source, and you give them your email. And then you just have to be super fast. But what I like about it is that you can start to formulate pitch ideas by seeing what journalists are looking for. So maybe you don't get that article, maybe you're not fast enough or whatever. You can say, oh, somebody's writing about that topic and I could talk about that. Maybe I take that angle and I pitch it out myself, and I pitch myself as the source for that idea to other outlets. Not exactly the same. You don't want it to look like you're, like stealing in some unethical way, but it should give you ideas to pitch. And we look at Haro all the time for ideas like that, like, oh, people are writing about this, or maybe they found a study that they want to source for. Well, if you don't get there fast enough and they pick another source, now you know about this great study that you can comment on, and it just came out and it's timely and relevant, and now's the time. So strike while the iron's hot. So that's why I like Haro, because you can get great ideas.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. Before I get to the next question, I just want to remind everyone that, in order for me to choose a winner for Jen's course, Media Magnet, please tell us where you're from in the chat. That way that I know that you are here and you're still tuning in. And again, we will announce the winner at the end. Okay, next question. This question is there a difference between PR for a personal brand versus PR for product? So for example, there's me, right, that I could pitch myself, as a personal brand. And then obviously there is, whatever product that, lip gloss, whatever product it is. Do you think that there is a difference in terms of how you position a person versus a product, or is it really the same process?
The approach is very similar. The approach is extremely similar. The opportunities are obviously a little different. It goes back to the same key factors like timely, relevant, so you said lip gloss. I've got my lip gloss here. We both have our lip gloss on our desk because we just glossed that before we turned the cameras on.
Right.
I promote brands with physical products. So what I personally like about that is that it's in their hand, it's tangible. If it's a launch, then we can work towards a certain date. If it's just us promoting a brand who has a collection of products already out in the market, now this product is in their hands, they're using it every day, it becomes a staple, it sits in their beauty closet, maybe they're doing an ingredient story on chamomile and my product has chamomile or manuka honey or whatever.
Right.
And there's a lot of opportunities. So when it comes to a product, we're slicing and dicing the ideas just like we would for a brand in terms of like, what are the benefits, what problems does it solve, is there new technology in it that makes it unique and different? Is it coming out in a certain launch. So we pitch long lead publications, which are print magazines, 4 months in advance of a launch.
Right.
Short leads online are like 6 weeks in advance of a launch, sometimes even the same day we can get something online. But it's like thinking about the timeliness, the relevance. Is this a shade for summer? Does it keep your lips hydrated in the winter? Like, what are timely angles? That's what we're thinking about with physical products. And like I said, I personally love that. And that's really all we're doing in our business, because I love tangible. I think it's easier. With people, it's a similar approach in terms of taking all of the, what's your story? What do you know how to do? What can you talk about? What's your expertise? And figuring out also where those ideas would be a really good fit. Sometimes with business-centered stories, you have to share revenue, and a lot of entrepreneurs don't want to share that, so it makes it a little harder. And those stories take longer to come to fruition. They just take a little longer. It's like convincing someone to like interview you, and takes a little bit longer to pull it all together. And definitely, if you're going to pitch yourself as a personal brand, have headshots, have lifestyle, not normal boring headshots, but like lifestyle shots that show you in action, that would make an interesting visual for a story. Yeah.
No, that sounds good. I want to ask another question before we get to our winner. And this is really focused on people that are looking for their next job. Do you feel that there is a way to leverage social media, right? So leverage your personal brand, like who you are, in order to position yourself well for a job? Because yes, there's PR for, your marketing strategy. There's PR, if you're an entrepreneur, you have a small business. But is there a way for someone that is looking for a job, right? They're in the job market. Like, how can you almost position yourself in a way that you can help yourself land a job?
Yeah, well, I haven't looked for a job in a long time, so since before social media. I can tell you that social media can hurt your prospects in getting hired. Absolutely. So when it comes to social, at a minimum, you need to protect your reputation and ensure that when an employer is landing on your social presence, that you are professional. You can have a personality, but don't maybe have anything too controversial, or have, multiple pictures of you like partying on school nights, like as you say to the kids, right? So I think it could damage your reputation. But in terms of helping it, anything that you're putting out that can really establish your authority on a subject would make you a really strong candidate for a certain role. So I think it helps to kind of niche down on the content that you're sharing, even if it's not your own articles, sharing articles that are relevant to your industry, showing that you're up to date on your goings on and current events in your industry, any, top, trade publications, you're staying on top and you're reading them. Maybe you're connected to some key players in your industry, or you spend a little bit of time to kind of cultivate those relationships through social, sharing content. So maybe approaching it similarly to how you would connect with journalists. But I think that when they go to check your presence, if they're seeing that you are really focused on being on top of industry trends and in the know and commenting in a way that shows you're a true expert, that can only, I would imagine, help in a job search.
Definitely, I agree. And I would probably say for that, LinkedIn right now is the platform to do that and to really establish yourself as, like you said, an authority or a thought leader, or just really engaged in your industry and the topics related to that. Final question. This comes in from Rahul, and he or she asks, if you have done things in the past that are PR worthy, would it help to post that on social media? Or should one stick to recent content only to build personal brand?
I love this question. I love repurposing. You have to assume that people are not seeing your stuff. You've got to leverage all the things that you have. I mean, we are rolling out content on social. I mean, even yesterday we posted a podcast that aired a year ago, and we pulled out kind of a gem about it, and positioned it not like, oh, this just happened, but like, listen in as Jen chats with Tracy from Moms Who Hustle. And so I think any mileage you can get out of the things that you've already got under your belt, teeing them up in different ways. Like in our programs, we teach leveraging as a strategy to get more mileage out of things. So linking out to articles and say, in case you missed it or wanted to share this again or wanted to flag this or get this on your radar. Sometimes what we do is, well, all the time, I have this way that I press clips so that I get just the pieces of the thing that I like. So if it's a really long article, blah, 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 and you're quoted just at the bottom, it's like, well, no one's going to scroll. So I grab the headline, I grab the masthead, and I grab my piece. I put a little box around my client's name. And now it's like a really clean and tidy, no ads, no competitors mentioned in there. And then we share that on social, and we'll put it in stories with a swipe up, read the whole article here, or, in case you missed it. So I think assuming that nobody sees your stuff, because people they're not seeing it. Definitely leverage. We pull stuff like my Apple feature was like 10 years ago, really, honestly. Like I didn't even have kids. My older son's 10. So, but like it's Apple, right? So it's relevant. So we like I'll say, this is one of the coolest things that ever really happened to me, and I'll post it and people are like, oh, I never saw that. I'm like, well, I've been talking about it for a decade, So definitely like share your content. Don't try to trick people and make them think that it's brand new or whatever, but get it on their radar in case you missed it or loved this interview, something like that. But definitely, definitely. Repurpose.
Yes, all day long.
All day, every day. Yeah.
Jen, this has been great. Thank you so much for your time. We're so thrilled to have had you. And you know what? We're going to probably have you back. We're going to talk, about like another topic, I would say.
Love it.
Social media. I think that there's just a lot of value that you can bring because you've been doing this for such a long time. And you've really seen the evolution, of the space over the course of all those years. So everyone, thank you for tuning in. Jen, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, my pleasure. And yes, if you miss this, you can always go to moveuplevel.com and watch the whole presentation again. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Take care.